Welcome back. Now, let's go into market reports, local international business news for today. Nigeria's youth unemployment crisis persists despite reported declines in the unemployment rate. The country's youthful demographic, with nearly 70% of its population under 30, is not being leveraged for economic growth. The root causes of this crisis include a mismatch between the education system and labor market demands. Many Nigerian youths graduate with qualifications that do not align with the demands of the modern economy. High education costs and limited job opportunities further exacerbate the issue. The government's efforts to address the crisis have been insufficient, leaving many young people frustrated and delusioned. Experts have warned that inaction could lead to severe consequences, including increased poverty, social exclusion, and political instability. Urgent action is needed to address the crisis and ensure economic stability for Nigerian youths. Recommendations to address the crisis include educational reform, job creation in key sectors, and investment in infrastructure and technology-driven industries. By taking decisive action, Nigeria can harness the potential of its youthful population and secure a brighter economic future. Federal government has set a 90-day deadline for subscribers of the National Housing Program to complete their payments. Additionally, a grace period of 8 weeks has been granted to facilitate timely payments. Dr. Marcus Obumbiyi, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, emphasized the importance of meeting the payment deadline. He warned that the failure to complete payments within a specific timeline would result in revoked offers. Subscribers who have not yet completed their payment have a total of 26 weeks to do so, including the initial 90-day period and the additional 8-week grace period. The ministry urges subscribers to take advantage of this extended time frame to avoid losing their offers. The National Housing Program's first batch offer for provisional allocation was issued in April 2024, following a review of the program's condition and procedures. Subscribers are encouraged to complete their payment promptly to secure their allocations. The ministry's warning to subscribers who fail to meet the payment deadline is clear: revoked offers. Subscribers may prioritize completing the payment within the specific time frame to avoid losing their opportunities. The Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN, has commended the Lagos State government for launching the Lagos State Revenue Portal, a move expected to enhance the state's revenue collection. CITN President Samuel Obuluyi praised the initiative, stating that it would foster confidence in the state government's fiscal management and governance practices, particularly regarding internally generated revenues. The Lagos Revenue Portal aims to simplify non-tax payment for residents and corporate entities, aggregating multiple bills under one platform for ease of payment and administration. This innovation is expected to improve compliance level, reduce avenue losses, and increase collection rate. Obuluyi urged other states to adopt similar initiatives, noting that the portal aligns revenue collection with global best practices, enhancing the ease of doing business and promotes fiscal prudence. The CITN president emphasized the importance of building trust with the populace through transparent and efficient revenue administration, encouraging government to continually evolve measures to engender confidence in their activities. The federal government has postponed the disbursement of the 150 billion naira loan for manufacturers and micro, small, and medium enterprises to September. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Doris Uzoka Anite, confirmed this during a meeting with beneficiaries in Calabar, Cross River State. The minister announced that 660,320 nano-beneficiaries, representing over 60% of the target 1 million, have received disbursements across Nigeria's 774 local government areas. She also revealed that loan disbursement for manufacturers and MSMEs would commence in September, following the verification of over 700,000 applicants. The Presidential Loans and Grants Scheme aims to provide financial support, restore hope, and rebuild lives. The minister emphasized the initiative's impact, stating that it was already being felt and committed to ensuring it reached every corner of the nation. Cross River State Governor Basi Otu commended the federal government's initiatives, highlighting their positive impact on the state. He noted that the presidential conditional grant had been a lifeline for many citizens, enabling small businesses to flourish and individuals to regain their economic footing. The Presidential Conditional Loans and Grant Scheme is a 200 billion naira initiative with 125 billion naira allocated to MSMEs and 75 billion to manufacturers. The fund aims to support growth, employment, and overall prosperity in Nigeria. The Nigerian Aviation Handling Company NACO has declined or denied allegation of fraudulent activities involving Ishwal in the 2024 Hajj operations. In a notice filed with the Nigerian Exchange Limited, NACO described the allegation as false, erroneous, and misleading. The company refuted claims made by Mahdi Shehu on social media, which accused NACO's chairman, Sinde Fadeni, of misappropriating funds, including inflated ESSA codes and constituency fees. NACO stated that the accusations were baseless and had no connection to the chairman. Shew's allegations included claims of inflated ESSA codes, backdated documents, and unaccounted cash withdrawals amounting to millions of naira. However, NACO maintained that the allegations were part of a smear campaign aimed at distracting the company from its core mandate. NACO reassured stakeholders of its commitment to ethical practices and transparency in all its operations. The company urged the public, customers, and shareholders to disregard the unfounded allegations and remain confident in the integrity of the organization's leadership. The aviation company remains focused on delivering value and upholding the trust reposed in the board and management. NACO emphasized its commitment to providing the highest standards of service and encouraged the public to remain confident in the organization's leadership. The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has called for more companies to list on the Nigerian exchange to strengthen the capital market and align with the federal government's 1 trillion naira economic budget. SEC Director General Imomotimi Agama emphasized the need for new listings to enhance market liquidity and activity. He urged exchanges to take proactive measures to extract more companies to the market, stating that expanded market participation would unlock the full potential of Nigeria's capital market. Agama outlined initiatives to improve the Commission's rule-making process, including diffringementing existing rules and codifying them into a comprehensive rulebook. He also mentioned updates and regulations for digital assets, guidelines for banking recapitalization, and a framework for vital asset services providers. The SEC boss encouraged capital market operators to invest in advanced technology to upgrade trading platforms and improve data dissemination. He stressed the importance of embracing modern technology to drive seamless trading and real-time information flow. Agama highlighted recent developments in the capital markets, including the approval of the 9 new insurances totaling 1.2 of registered mutual funds net assets valued by 111.08% to 3.335 trillion naira, signaling sustainable growth. The Association of Housing Corporations of Nigeria has called for a strategic partnership with the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development to address the country's pressing housing challenges. The AHCN President Eno Bonga emphasized the importance of collaborating during a courtesy visit to the Minister Ahmed Musa Dangiwa in Abuja. He's committed with the ministry to ensure the success of housing initiatives under the current administration. The visit highlighted the need for continuous engagement between government agencies and private sector stakeholders to tackle Nigeria's housing sector challenges. The Nigerian equity market has experienced a downturn for the second week in a row with a loss of 843,003 billion billion due to sell-offs. The all shares index and market capitalization both fell by 1.51%, closing the week at 97,100.31 points and 55.13 trillion naira respectively. The financial services industry led the activity chart, accounting for 67.73% of the total equity turnover volume and 60.85% of the total value. However, most market indices finished lower, except for a few like insurance and consumer goods. Unfortunately, 66 equities saw price decline, while only 39 appreciated. Altibriso led the gainers, rising by 33.86%, followed by Total Energies Marketing Nigeria PLC with a 19.96 increase. After Invest analysts predict a continued bearish trend due to mixed earnings performance and a decline in the inflation rate. They anticipated an extended bearish outing, fueled by cautious reaction to mixed H1 earnings performances. The Network of Entrepreneurial Women has launched the Women in Digital Business Training Program to empower 800 women entrepreneurs through digital literacy and business innovation. The initiative, sponsored by the International Training Center of the International Labour Organization and Microsoft Philanthropies. Participants will explore digital business solutions, gain insight into digital transformations, and commit to 25 hours of training over 5 weeks. The NNEW President Adefunke Okuyoro expressed excitement about the partnership, stating that the program aims to bridge the digital divide, create opportunities for women entrepreneurs, and enhance their capability to succeed in the digital economy. Program Director Buku Fami Ajala emphasized that the program consists of 10 online training sessions and self-paced learning modules, equipping women entrepreneurs with practical skills to enhance their business operations and drive growth. Registration for the third batch is open until the end of month as NNEW continues to support women entrepreneurs and promote digital inclusion. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa, has announced plans to source funds from fuel subsidy removal and windfall tax profits to build affordable houses for low-income earners, homeless, and vulnerable individuals. Dangiwa stated that the National Social Housing Funds will mobilize and administer funds to provide decent and accessible housing for those in need. He emphasized the ministry's commitment to driving historic housing reforms, increasing access to affordable housing for all Nigerians. The minister revealed that 80% of Nigerians are low-income earners and highlighted the need for housing sector reform. He mentioned 4 reform tax themes, including housing institution, land reform, and building materials manufacturing hubs, which will soon submit the reports for implementation. Dangiwa emphasized the need for a system that works efficiently to deliver results and expressed willingness to partner with relevant bodies. He also announced plans to monitor and prosecute building collapses in Nigeria. Earlier, Andrew Osemuda Edum San, President and Chairman of the SBL Committee, sought institutional collaboration with the ministry and invited the minister to attend the second National Conference on Construction Projects and Infrastructure. Stakeholders have urged the federal government to establish a nationwide target of 25% forest cover to reduce environmental degradation. They emphasize the need for regular monitoring, community engagement, and standard efforts to achieve and maintain this goal. Samuel Sin Egelege, CEO of Digital Experience Technology Limited, stressed the importance of ongoing commitment and continuous monitoring to ensure reforestation efforts succeed. Babatunde Adeboke, Technical Secretary of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, noted that achieving this target will significantly impact the environment, particularly in urban areas. Olufemi Ayodele, CEO of Fame Oyster & Co., highlighted the importance of preserving forest covers in cities, while Afolabi Abiodun, President of the African Environmental Health Organization, emphasized the need for collective action to address deforestation. The Minister of Environment, Balarabe Lawal, recently stated that Nigeria has the lowest forest cover globally with only 3.7%. He emphasized the need to address this issue, and stakeholders are calling for a nationwide target of 25% forest cover to combat deforestation and promote sustainable development. Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security has inaugurated a technical working group to develop a nationwide database for farmers. The group will identify and develop modalities for seamless data capturing in collaboration with the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC. Permanent Secretary Temitope Fashidemi emphasized the importance of proper identification of farmers to deliver agricultural input and support. The committee will play a critical role in achieving the vision of a food-secure future for Nigeria. The NIMC's Peter Iwebs stay connected on ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. A report by Ebosi Ele & Co. reveals that only 10% of land in Nigerians is titled, with 64 owned by state and 36 in private hands. The report highlighted the need for land reform to unlock dead capital and boost economic development. This report notes that Nigeria has trillions of naira in idle assets, including abandoned projects and underutilized real estate properties. It recommends the establishment of the Ministry of Finance, Incorporated, to manage and optimize these assets. The report also suggests land title and registration reforms, including easing the process of titling and registration, raising public awareness, and leveraging technology for land administration. Additionally, it proposes microfinance and alternative lending models to utilize informal assets as collateral. The hypothetical 25% increase in title and could potentially increase GDP astronomically, enhancing agricultural productivity, attracting investment, and fostering economic development. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has vowed to end the queues for premium motors Wednesday as the black market for PMS boomed on Sunday. Despite NNPC's assurance, oil marketers listed in many states and Abuja, with the cost of petrol crossing 1,000 naira per litre in some locations. NNPC denied claims that it owed international oil traders $6.8 billion and had not remitted funds into the Federation account since January. Sinai stated that NNPC did not owe the sum of 6.8 billion naira to any international trader and had been paying its obligations on a first-in, first-out basis. The company also denied claims that it had not remitted funds into the Federation account since January, saying it remits taxes to the Federal Inland Revenue Service regularly. NNPC maintained that it is not a regulator and has nothing to do with the quality of imported fuel. Despite NNPC's assurance and defense, the queues of petrol lingered in many states and Abuja, while the cost of the commodity continued to rise. Fuel scarcity persisted in Abuja, Nasarawa, Niger, and neighboring states, with domestic dollar bound to enhance external potential foreign exchange liquidity, boost reserves, and help stabilize the exchange rate. The reserves declined steadily over the 9 days, with a decrease of 0.93%. This persistent decline comes after 4 months of growth in the external reserves, highlighting the struggle faced by Nigeria's financial authorities in maintaining reserve levels. The Central Bank of Nigeria governor announced that the external reserves were $37.05 billion at last month's monetary policy meeting, but checks showed that the actual amount was $35.93 billion, $1.12 billion short of the announced amount. The decline in reserves comes amid ongoing economic pressures, including the need to meet import demands and debt obligations, as well as manage liquidity for the naira stability. Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise has called for an amendment to the Customs Act and stabilization of the exchange rate used for customs duties calculations. Dr. Muda Yusuf, CPPE's director, recommended pegging the customs duty exchange rate at 1,000 naira per dollar as a stopgap measure to address the current high and unpredictable rate. Yusuf argued that the volatile exchange rate is driving up inflation, increasing production costs, and errand to neighboring countries. CPPE recommended setting the customs duty exchange rate at 1,000 naira per dollar for 6 months through investment. However, economist Professor Shegu Ajibola suggested that the Central Bank of Nigeria also has a role to play in determining the customs duty exchange rate, requiring harmonization between monetary and fiscal authorities. Ajibola recommended a trend analysis to define the rate over a given period and sticking to one rate for at least a quarter of a year. Projected that the $2 billion domestic FGN US dollar bond opening on Monday would have an overall positive impact on the economy. The bond offering is targeted that pension funds Bank Nigeria have raised concerns about the tenure of the bond and the potential pressure on the naira. They also emphasize the need for adequate safeguards to prevent market fragmentation and ensure effective for the year, according to Executive Chairman Zach Adedeji. He cited this as a stakeholder engagement with the Senate and House Committee on Finance in Lagos, expressing confidence in achieving the target based on the service's progress so far. Adedeji sought the support of the National Assembly to enact a law regulating the crypto industry and update the Stamp Duty Act. He emphasized the need for a law to regulate cryptocurrency operations, which are currently unregulated in Nigeria. The FIRS plans to regulate crypto in a way that it's not injurious to the economic development of Nigeria. The FIRS also plans to overhaul revenue administration in Nigeria by a proposed bill, which will be presented to September 9. Senate Committee on Finance chairmen need to adopt best practices and foster an environment of transparency, accountability, and innovation in revenue generation efforts. He encouraged the FIRS to share its challenges, successes, and strategies for the future. House Committee on Finance Chairman James Faleke commended the FIRS and pledged continued collaboration. He acknowledged the difficulties in revenue collection, especially during times of economic hardship. He assured the FIRS of the House support in achieving its mandate. The Nigerian Shippers Council has recovered 6.1 billion naira from dispute settlement charges, container deposit refunds, and import and export fraud. The Council's Director of Strategic Planning and Research, Oluwarotimi Anifuronsho, disclosed this while presenting a picture and recovered 160. This includes 153 billion naira from tariff negotiation, 10 million from cargo stoppage intervention, and 13.4 billion naira from inland dry ports arrangements. The NSC's role as the lead agency in the Nigerian Ports Process Manual has sanitized the activities related to the joint boarding of vessels. The co-led port standing tax team has increased the number of cargoes examined per day from 120 boxes to 250 boxes daily per terminal. Since March, over 95% of the vessels that called at Nigeria. The NSC's effort has contributed to a more efficient and effective port operation system in Nigeria. Performance management of sector workers. Nigeria faces significant human capital challenges with a shortage of qualified professionals, including teachers and health workers. The loan aims to incentivize improvements in workforce planning, enhance recruitment processes, and address disparities in staffing across regions. The initiative will also support the adoption of new systems to improve payroll management and reduce fraud. Additionally, it will focus on cross-sectoral issues such as financial resource allocation, public financial management, fiscal transparency, and accountability. The loan is part of a larger $2 billion government program aimed at accelerating the provision of quality basic education and healthcare services across Nigeria. The World Bank support will also incentivize the reduction of staffing gaps by 40% to the target that at least 30% of recruits will be women. You're watching ATM Business and Atlantic Television Network. We will be back after this break. Welcome back to ATM Business and Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. The U.S. and China have signed agreements to cooperate on financial stability, according to a People's Bank of China statement. The agreements were rescheduled during a meeting on the U.S.-China Financial Working Group in Shanghai last week. The working group, co-led by Brent Neiman, Deputy Undersecretary for International Finance at the U.S. Treasury Department, and Zhuang Chengneng, Deputy PBOC Governor, discussed topics including capital markets, cross-border payments, and monetary policy. The conversation was described as exports from both countries shared information on systematically important global banks, financial institution operational resilience, and climate risk stress testing. The meeting also included representatives from the Federal Reserve, U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, and China Securities Regulatory Commission. The agreements come amid recent volatility in China's government bond market and concerns over local government debt. However, PBOC Governor Pan Gongsheng stated that China's financial risks have decreased. The U.S.-China Financial Working Group was launched in September 2023 by U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng. The group aims to promote cooperation on economic and financial issues with regular meetings between Treasury officials and Chinese counterparts. European stocks are extending their positive momentum, with the Pan-European Stock 600 index up by 0.24% by 11:20 a.m. London time. The majority of sectors and major bourses are in the green, led by mining stock, which climbed 1.1%. The gains come after a winning week for global stocks, which saw European markets close higher on Friday. U.S. stocks also posted solid gains, boosted by weekly jobless claims and retail sales data that signaled recent recession fears were overblown. However, not all stocks are performing well. Rheinmetall shares fell as much as 5% on reports that Germany may halt new military aid to Ukraine. Other defense stocks, including Base Systems and Kongsberg Group, also fell more than 2%. Zealand's Farmers shares also took a hit, falling at 4.7% after the company announced it's looking for a big pharma partner to help bring its weight loss drug to market. The stock pared some of its losses later in the day. Investors are now looking ahead to key events this week, including Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's speech on Friday and the release of minutes from the Fed's latest meeting on Wednesday. U.S. stock futures inch higher in overnight trading Sunday, setting a positive tone of the week ahead. Wall Street's attempt to recover from Monday's sell-off ran out of steam, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average surrendering a 480-point gain to close 237 points lower. The S&P 500 retreated 0.77, while the Nasdaq Composite experienced a sharper decline of 1.5%. Technology stocks led the reversal, with Nvidia shedding 5%, Tesla dropping 4.4%, and Supermicro Computer plummeting 20%, following disappointing fourth-quarter earnings. Meanwhile, the yield on the 10-year Treasury edged higher, and U.S. oil prices rose over 2% amid escalating tensions in the Middle East. Warner Bros. Discovery 6% in extended trading after reporting a $9.1 billion write-down on its TV networks and missing analysts' estimates on second-quarter revenue. The charge reflects the decline value of traditional TV networks and customers flee and advertisers opt to spend on digital and streaming instead. JP Morgan believes that the odds of a soft landing for the U.S. economy are around 35 to 40%, making recession the most likely scenario in his mind. 2025 slid 0.7%. 0.7% as the Bank of Japan revealed members discussed more rating. However, Hong Kong and mainland China's CSI 300 both reversed gaining 0.9% and 0.3% respectively. Gold prices eased on Monday, hovering around the key $2,500 level as traders locked in profits. Billions climbed to an all-time peak in the previous session. Spot edged 0.2% higher to 2,541.80, propelled bullion to an all-time high of $2,509.65 on Friday. This, coupled with increased geopolitical tensions and robust central bank buying, has sent bullion over 20% higher so far this year. The Watara, chief market analyst at KCM Trade, noted that gold has been chasing the psychological $2,500 level for several months, and now that it has been reached, some natural profit-taking is occurring. Last week's strong U.S. retail sales print and lower than expected unemployment claims, along with mild inflation data, restored confidence in the world's largest economy. Traders are confident to cut rates next month, and the focus is now on the size of the reduction. They are pricing in a 75.5% chances of a 25 basis points cut, according to the CME FedWatch 2. The market will look out for minutes of the Fed's July policy meeting on Wednesday for further cues. Holders of SPDR Gold Trust, the world's largest gold-backed exchange trade fund, rose position by 34,197 contracts in the week ended August 13, data showed. Several Chinese banks have been given new gold import quotas from the central bank, anticipating revived demand despite record high prices. And this is your Port Harcourt. I am Wendy Aguma. We are open for advert bookings and commercials. Stay connected on ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X, formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching and good afternoon.